Welcome to episode 4 of the Shambles United podcast. This is your host Pranav Shahaney, and today I'm joined by not one but two new guests. My first new guest is Yash Shah. I've known him for the last, 10 or 15 years, and he's been a diehard United fan ever since. And the second one is Eshaan, who is younger to us by a few years, but also an extremely passionate United fan. So I'll come to you, Yash, first. How does it feel to be on the podcast? We've tried to get you on for so long, and now you're finally here.
Yeah, it feels good. Start of something new, but I've been wanting to come on here for quite a while, but things just the schedule just didn't match out. So yeah, happy to be here.
And I think it's a perfect time for you to even come on now because we've just won our first leg of the Europa League pretty convincingly. So, what did you make of that game and the player performances? Because I think it was one of our best performances of the season.
Yeah, again, like first half we started off well, but then again defensive errors too, like schoolboy errors basically. Second half, like we've done all season, we came back very strongly. I don't know, it was just a different game in the second half. Pogba, Bruno, and Cavani, like all three of them, quality. And whenever they've been on the pitch, they have showed their quality. Apart from that, defensively, it was a little bit of an off performance in the first half, but then second half we were pretty solid. So overall, it was a really good performance. But yeah, I mean, it would have been better if we could do it over both halves instead of just one.
And what did you make of the game, Ishan? Because, like Yash said, that defensively we didn't look too good. And even I felt that initially it took us a while to get things going. But once I always feel that we need to go behind to, suddenly wake up because unless we don't go behind, we're just taking things casually. We are undermining the opposition. But the moment we go back, suddenly I don't know what happens. The team just goes into second, third gear, and then we are just bang on. We're just attacking, scoring, attacking, scoring. So, what did you make of the initial stages, like before going down? How do you think the performance was, and how did things change after that? What was your general perspective of the game?
Yeah, I mean, like, according to me, the attack in our team was perfect, I would say, nearly perfect, right from the beginning. If you see, even in the starting, Bruno, Pogba, and Cavani, they combined very well for the first goal. The second goal, I feel Pogba, he knows himself, he said it, that I should learn how to tackle. But the third, I mean, the second goal that we conceded, my God, that was shambolic, dude. You can't concede like that. Aaron Wan-Bissaka doesn't track back, I think. And Lindelof is pulled out of position, and it's just a very bad goal to concede. It's very like championship vibe it is.
Yeah.
And I feel like Lindelof and Maguire as a pairing, like they keep a lot of clean sheets, but when they concede, they tend to concede more than one. If I don't know if everyone has noticed this, but I have. Every goal that United has conceded, they tend to concede another. They concede one and then they'll go another, concede another. And set pieces, so not in this game, but in general, set pieces from corners and all, we concede a lot of goals. So I don't think they're going to win a title for us together. Maybe get in another centre back, but the first half literally showed why United need to sign a centre back. And then in the second half, you just need to know why you need to keep Cavani.
Yeah.
And why you need to bring in either like keep Pogba or you need to bring in a better like attacking midfielder from the left or bring in a creative player like Sancho or someone.
Absolutely. And that's an interesting point you made about Aaron Wan-Bissaka, because even I have noticed it that when he's defending one-on-one, or when the team is comfortable, when the team is sitting deep, he's fine. But the moment the team is on the attack and then they're being hit on the counter attack, you're always seeing Wan-Bissaka is not there in the right position. So I mean, I'm not saying that we need a new right back, but we probably need him to learn this role, because we're not always going to be a team that is waiting for the opposition to attack us, because eventually we are going to dominate games even against the bigger teams. As of now, most of his best performances have come against the bigger teams because we are sitting back and we are inviting pressure onto us. But I feel that in the lesser games, the goals we concede, he's not always there to defend in the box or something. So what do you think, Yash? Do you think that we are reading too much into it, or do you think that there's actually some deficiency in Wan-Bissaka's game that he needs to work on?
No, positionally, he's like we've seen it many times this season that positionally he's been pretty poor. So, I mean, he tends to tuck in towards Lindelof a lot of the times, and that leaves a lot of space on the wing. And it's I think it's got something to do with the, again, like Eshaan was saying, it's got something to do with the pairing. Maguire and Lindelof don't really work well as a pairing, and we generally don't see, like, even though they keep clean sheets, like they've been shielded by like Fred and McTominay in front of them, which also takes like the sting out of our attack. Even against Roma, the reason we were so effective in our attack in the second half is, the fullbacks were given the license to push forward, and the main thing was, Pogba and Bruno, both of them were on the pitch.
Yeah.
So generally, what like if only one of them is on the pitch, the teams tend to just take Bruno out of the game by marking. We saw this against Leeds as well. So Calvin Phillips was on Bruno the entire time, and Bruno could literally do nothing. And Fred and McTominay by themselves are not creative players. They're just there to like protect the back four. So that takes the whole creativity out of the game. And just after Pogba came on, we started playing a little bit better. But when both of them are not, or rather when just one of them is on the pitch, we tend to play a little bit poorly.
Absolutely, and this perfectly brings into the topic we wanted to discuss today, is that of Fred and generally the midfield conundrum in our team. Because for the last 4-5 years, we've said that we need something to unlock Pogba, something to unlock Pogba. We don't know whether he's staying or not. As of now, we have Bruno playing as a number 10, as a creative force. But like you said, Calvin Phillips just blocked him out of the game, and we didn't have any other creativity from midfield. So there are rumors now that we are linked to a DM that will ensure that Bruno and another creative midfielder alongside him, whether it's going to be Van de Beek, whether it's going to be Pogba, is going to play alongside him. So what do you guys think happens to Scott McTominay, and more importantly Fred? Because he was signed for 52 million. Just the fact because he was a City target is why United pursued him. There was no scouting done for him. There was nothing that way. They just saw, I think, a few videos. They spoke to a few agents. They spoke to a few, players who were close to Fred, and decided, okay, yeah, this is the man we want. And just so that City don't get him, they said, okay, we'll pay over the top for him. But I don't think Fred has been a successful signing at all. And every time I look at him, I wonder, why is he playing for United? Because he is not the best tackler, he's not the best passer, he's not the best dribbler. I don't know what he brings to the table. Like, at least with McTominay, you can see that he has that energy and he has that willingness to do whatever Ole wants him to do. But with Fred, you don't really know it. So Eshaan, first I'll come to you. What do you think is going on with Fred? I mean, why is he the way he is, and why is Ole still sticking with him?
Bro, I feel he brings that tenacity, he brings that running all over the pitch kind of thing with him. So like, I would not like completely disagree, but I would slightly disagree with you. I feel McTominay is not as good as Fred. Like, I know Fred is shit, but I feel McTominay positionally is even more worse, because like he can't play alone. He needs somebody with him. Fred can still do a half decent job alone. If you play Fred and Pogba, you still might get a little bit more stability. But if you've seen McTominay, even in recent games, even in against Roma, I looked at him many times. He's just out of position, and there are major gaps between that midfield, and they just play one ball towards their number 10 and we're done. And they just go towards the back four. So like, the main purpose of playing Fred and McTominay together is to shield our two slow centre backs.
Yeah.
But the problem with McTominay is he's not a natural defensive midfielder. In my opinion, he's not a natural defensive midfielder. They're trying to convert him in one.
Yeah.
But I feel if you've seen, his best performances have come when he's going ahead, and he's moving forward as a box-to-box kind of player. Have you seen like his strike on the ball? It's so clean. The goal against Arsenal, brilliant. I mean, like, just there are very few players who have that kind of strike. Even against Leeds, the first goal, that was brilliant. I mean, so I feel Ole needs to understand that he's not a defensive midfielder, and neither is Fred, like, because of his height and his first touch. I mean, his first touch is shit. It's so every player just like, they just like just jump on him. I mean, they just pressure him and they get the ball back.
And
I feel,
you made a good point that Fred is not a defensive midfielder, because when he's playing with McTominay, he is kind of playing as one, because he's dropping deep, he's there to shield the back, and you have McTominay often playing box to box. So now, if we are signing a DM, do you see a future for Fred at United?
I feel he's a good backup player for sure. He has to be there, because you can't win anything just with one player. And I feel Matic is done. I feel Matic is gonna go. So I feel, so you need someone to play in the cup games. You need someone so you can give your rest to maybe Declan Rice or whoever they sign. I would personally go for Declan Rice if they can get him in a Lingard deal, because he's very good. He's a captain, so there's clearly leadership qualities which is lacking in United, I feel, many times.
Yeah.
So I feel as a backup, even McTominay, for that reasons. I mean, if McTominay is played right, I feel he's a very good player from the bench. And his height also is an advantage in the box if you need set plays and stuff. So he can be our Fellaini. But like, even then, he's not a starter, for sure. He's not a starter.
And Yash, what do you think we should do with Fred? Because he is 28. He's not turning any younger. I don't think he's going to be getting any better. So if we are to get something out of him, this is the summer we should look to cash on to him. So what do you think? Do you think that we should stick with him, or we should ensure that he's sold in the summer?
Look, we can try to sell him in the summer, but I don't think there are a lot of clubs which would be ready to buy Fred, to be honest. Like, not the top clubs anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't think like a club like even like Everton would be ready to sign him. Like, he's not a good player. Like, just to put it simply, he's not a good player in the position he's being played in. And to be completely honest with you, I don't even understand what his best position would be. He just doesn't know how to pass the ball. We saw this against Leicester in the FA Cup where we crashed out. Like, he gave the ball away like so many times, and he's being deployed as a defensive midfielder when he's not one. He got bypassed by Tielemans and NDD like in just a simple 1-2, and like the defensive midfielder's job is not to just handle things on the halfway line. Like, when we are defending on corners and everything, we have to track the runners as well. He doesn't even do that, not as McTominay. And coming to your question, like, selling him would be ideal if we were to sign a defensive midfielder, but then selling him would be quite difficult as well. So that's a conundrum. So if he were to stay at United, if he is to stay at United rather, I'd agree with Eshaan here. He's probably like a bench player. You can bring him on, let's say, let's 70 minutes in if you need some fresh legs. If you're in a lead, you need some fresh legs, you need some tenacity over the pitch to slow them down and stuff like that. But otherwise, I don't think he offers much on the pitch anyway. He's just there to shield Maguire and Lindelof. And I agree with Eshaan there.
Yeah, even I think that trying to expect a huge transfer fee from him is impossible because there isn't the market for him. But maybe if we can get something around 15 to 20 million for Fred, I think the club will be tempted to sell him, because under Ole, I felt that the board and the backroom staff, they're all willing to listen to him in terms of the ins and outs, especially the outs, because in the past we've seen a lot of players that have just been on the club's payroll for a number of years and they are hardly playing any games. So I feel that if Ole, puts his foot down and says that I want Fred out of the club, maybe that can work. And you guys are saying that you all want Fred as a bench position, because I'm impressed by James Garner's performances on loan at Nottingham Forest this season. So I feel that we should get in a player like him and then mold him into a first team role, say in the next 2 or 3 years. I feel that will be a better solution than having Fred for the long term, because he's 28. The max he's going to be here is for 2 or 3 years. So rather get someone in who is, say, not as good as Fred, but maybe in a few years will be ready to push on the manager's door for a first team position. Because I really feel that James Garner is going to be a really influential player in United's future. What do you guys think about it? Eshaan, let me ask you that.
Yeah, that's what I was just wondering, who should I? So, like, I would say, bro, I would completely agree with you on that account. But what I have noticed is with Ole is I am completely supportive of Ole. I like him. But there's one thing that I would like to criticize about him is that he says he uses the youth, but he uses more of the youth only when there are no risks. You have to put them in risky situations. I know he used Mason Greenwood the right way, but who would not use Mason Greenwood? He's such a talent. So I would feel, and Mason Greenwood's been in the first team training ever since Mourinho.
Yeah.
So it's not that he brought him up and he molded him into a first team player. He was already training. Exactly. So I'm not giving complete credit to Ole, but I'm not taking away the credit of him as well. He doesn't deserve 100, but he deserves at least 75% of Greenwood's success. But as we've seen, Adama, who what is his name? The Traore guy.
Yeah,
he doesn't play. Yeah, he doesn't play.
Amad Traore.
Amad Traore. Sorry. Amad Traore hardly plays. Then if you see that Shorter guy, he got him up. He didn't play him.
Yeah.
Brandon Williams hardly plays. Then if you see Angel Gomez left due to lack of playing time, Tahith Chong left due to lack of playing time, James Garner was sent on loan. I understand that. But most of the youngsters they've come up to the bench and then they haven't come on because instead of them, he's put on Mata and he's put on Matic half the times and he's put on Dan James, who I feel has to leave immediately. I don't feel Dan James has any fault to play in it. He's just not a United player. Like it's just he's not made for that team. I feel he'll do very well at a smaller club like West Brom or whatever, but not at United. He's clearly not up to it.
I feel I make the same argument you guys make about Fred in terms of Dan James. I think he's really good off the bench. He's got that pace, and often when 60-65 minutes in, when the opposition's tired, you should throw him on because he has that pace and he has that movement where he can just run in behind defenses. And I've always said this, that I feel that he can be retrained into a right wing back because he's got that crossing ability, he's got that pace. He's not the best of tacklers, but I feel he can develop into that role over time, like how Valencia did. But what do you think, Yash? Do you think that Dan James should leave? Do you think he should be at the club? Do you think he should play a different role? What do you think about James?
So with James, it depends what we do in the transfer window. So if we go and sign Sancho as there are many rumors, then probably there's no place for James because we still have Diallo to develop, and we right now we play Greenwood on the right as well. So I don't think James is going to get much playing time. James is Ole's go-to player right now against the big teams when he needs some defensive effort on the right hand side, because we know Van Bissaka is sometimes susceptible defensively. So he does a good job there, but like attacking wise, he has a good cross on him, but he's not creative. And we've seen the other players get frustrated by too, like especially Bruno at times. I mean, to be honest, having seen them playing together, I don't really think Bruno likes playing with Dan James. But yeah, he works well against where teams play a high line and. Or maybe if you want to bring him on in, like after the 70th minute. But again, like if you were to go and sign a right winger in the summer, I don't think he has he's gonna get minutes next season. But if we don't sign a right winger, then I think Ole will keep him. Even though I think he should use Diallo and Diallo more, I think he'll just stick to his tried and tested formula right now. He uses Greenwood, or he puts Rashford on the right and Pogba on the left, or he goes with Dan James on the right. So
yeah, and from the looks of it, it seems like we're going to sign a centre back, a DM, and probably a right winger. So just coming back to the the DM thing, if you're going to sign a DM, who would you like to be at the club? Eshaan has said he wants Declan Rice. Who would you want to sign?
Yeah, the ideal target would obviously be Declan Rice, but I don't think a deal is likely, even if we have like a Lingard to offer as like a swap plus cash deal.
Yeah.
So I don't think Declan Rice is likely, but Bissouma would be good. He's a good player. We played Brighton and he's been good. Like NDD would be good too, but even he's got a little bit of a injury issue.
Yeah.
So I would actually consider Bissouma seriously because he won't cost that much. Declan Rice is going to cost you he's going to cost half of whatever your transfer budget is. So I'd say Bissouma is a good target, and even I think Zakaria was also being rumored as one of the possible signings. Even he seemed like a good player, but I'd say if not Declan Rice, then Bissouma.
Yeah, I think Zakaria is going to be third or fourth choice, and like you guys rightly said, it's going to be either Rice or Bissouma. Even I would personally take Rice because the fact that he's homegrown, the fact that he can play as a centre back as well as a DM. That's really good when you're building up. But he's going to be really expensive, and if we are going to pursue Sancho and say a world-class centre back, I think it makes more sense financially to sign Bissouma. What do you think, Eshaan? Are you fine if United doesn't sign Rice and instead goes for Bissouma but has the money to strengthen in other positions?
Most definitely, man. Most definitely. I really like Bissouma. When Yash was just saying it, I just thought, oh my God, I should have said Bissouma. He's actually very good. I have seen other Brighton games as well, and I have seen him. He's very disciplined with his defending. He tracks the runs. He's doing everything that NDD was doing last season. I mean, he's not as good as NDD, of course, but he really has the potential to grow into that. But like, That's what we need, a world class centre back. I would really go for Varane because he has 1 year left on his contract.
Mhm.
I don't know if Florentino Perez would want to deal with any English clubs, to be honest, for a long time. But if Varane is available, I would really push. I mean, he's a very good player. He's made mistakes, but come on, he's better than Lindelof at least.
Absolutely.
I
I
have
mean,
nothing against Lindelof, but he's better than Lindelof. He's better in the air. He's better on the ball. He has better pace. He's better than Eric Bailly also. Eric Bailly, I don't know why they gave him an extension. I feel they should have let him go for his own career.
yeah.
But I guess that is his choice as well.
I think they eventually
But
will let him go. They just got him. They just signed him for a shorter term deal so that they can get some money off the sale, which is
yeah, exactly,
kind of wise. But
exactly.
yeah, let's hope that
If you
there is a market
remember
for him.
Marcus Rojo,
Yeah,
if you remember
Rojo.
Marcus Rojo at the club, I mean, like they are good at getting out players, but I feel Phil Jones, Marcus Rowe, that, and even Fred, to be honest, I think they are players that nobody can afford and nobody will take from us, and they just need to run their contract down.
Absolutely. And speaking of Varane, Yash, I remember 6 years ago maybe we were discussing how good Varane is going to turn out to be, and that's exactly what's happened. Would you still have him at United, or do you feel that we missed our window of getting him?
Yeah, I would still have him at United. Like most definitely, he's better than both the centre backs, and he would actually complement Maguire really well. So again, we know that Maguire and Lindelof don't work as a pairing. I personally feel that Maguire and Eric Bailly are a better pairing, but Oli doesn't want to seem to use Eric Bailly.
Yeah.
So Varane would be an excellent choice, and he also suits the way Oli wants to play. So we've been constantly seeing this season that we've been trying to play it out from the back, but we don't really have the players to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, Maguire and Lindelof, they are decent on the ball, but they are not quick. So that creates a little bit of an issue. And then again, coming back to the DM. So if you are trying to play out from the back, we need a good CDM, and we don't have that because Fred and McTominay, both of them are not really meant for that role. We do that. We tend to do that better when Pogba is playing, or if Bruno drops a little bit deep. But otherwise, but ideally we'd want them further up the pitch. And when they are further up the pitch and just McTominay or Fred are there, the centre backs and the CDMs, both of them are not really capable of playing out from the back.
Yeah.
Which is why we see Lindelof, just playing a long ball to Rashford a few times, which he's done quite well a few times. But yeah, but Varane, absolutely, we take him. We'll automatically play a higher line. We won't even need, I think, a double pivot to shield the back four. And if we, along with Varane, if we do get a CDM, that would be like one of the best transfer windows in recent years, because that would I personally feel that would totally change the way we play. Instead of playing a double pivot, we can play just one single holding midfielder and just Pogba and Bruno, or Pogba and Van de Beek, or Bruno and Van de Beek in front of them.
Yeah. And the other option that has been floating around is Jules Koundé, the Sevilla centre back, who is 22. There are concerns about his height, but I think he's a very good tackler. He's good at the ball at speed. He's a good dribbler too. So that will again be a good thing because he can also play. He can play as a left centre back better than Maguire does, because Maguire has been playing there, and you can see that he's not too comfortable. He's more comfortable on the right. So in case the Varane thing doesn't work out, I would like Koundé to come in as well. What do you guys think? Do you like the idea of signing Koundé for something cheaper than Varane and then maybe going for Rice, or would you rather have Bissouma and Varane? Like, say if I'm giving you the option between Koundé and Rice or Bissouma and Varane, what would you guys pick and why?
I would definitely go for Bissouma and Varane.
Okay.
So yeah, I feel like the centre back pairing is like one of the it's like a biggest problem in the team right now. I mean, along with the central CDM position, but Varane is like proven at the highest level. He's won three Champions League with Madrid,
yeah.
And yeah, he's proven at the highest level. He's played with the best players. We know how he is. He's a proven commodity basically. Jules Koundé, he's still young, and there are still concerns about his height. Varane is quick. Varane is tall as well. So like those are two main concerns, like just out of the window. And Bissouma is like one step above Fred and Scott McTominay easily in the position that we are trying to play him in. He's a natural CDM, and like I feel that that would be a better option. Getting Declan Rice would be amazing, but then again, if you were to like, that would probably mean blowing your entire transfer budget on him because he's going to cost like way too much money.
What do you think, Eshaan?
To be very honest, bro, I will. Jules Koundé would cost around 50.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yeah, it's
And
around
Varane,
50. Yeah.
yeah, 50, 60 though he'll cost. But Varane is on the last year of his contract. I think even he would cost around 50. So if you're giving me two players at the same price, I would of course take the more proven one. And to be very honest, Bissouma is not such a big drop off of Declan Rice, so I
Yeah,
would go for that option. And even if we don't get a centre back, I feel the problem is not with the centre backs that we have. I feel even Ole himself has this weird perception that Lindelof and Maguire works. If you heard his interview recently, he said that's how we want to play out from the back, our midfielders pushing the ball forward. I don't know what he sees. It's clearly not what we see. They're very slow while passing. It takes them at least 2 minutes to get the ball out of their own half.
Yeah.
That is very sad. Even Chelsea does it better than us. Although we say they are slow,
Exactly.
they do it better than us. And I feel the misuse of Tuanzebe also. That's another player that he's brought up till the bench and he doesn't use him enough. I mean, Lindelof is playing with an injury to his back. He's played with an injury. Even yesterday, he was limping in the end. If you've seen. Yesterday or day before.
He's not obviously 100% fit. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and then you have clearly Tuanzebe is very fast. We've seen it against PSG. Dude, he played very well. So it's not that you can't give him a chance. He just doesn't trust Tuanzebe and Maguire after Sheffield United's game.
Yeah, that's true.
If you remember, they both played together and they had a very bad day. So it'll take time. Even Lindelof and Maguire didn't have very good days at the start of United. They conceded 2 against Crystal Palace at home. They conceded so many away. It was very symbolic. So give them time. I would say Tuanzebe is a very good centre back, but I feel we're just gonna go out, buy Pau Torres or someone, and then keep saying that okay, yeah, he's taking his time. Like Van de Beek, he won't use him, and Maguire and Lindelof will be there next season. I feel Tuanzebe is better than them.
Absolutely. Let's hope that doesn't happen and we sign someone proven who immediately improves our team and not for the future. We've made a lot of those kind of buys. They haven't worked out and it's just been a disaster. But I feel our transfer strategy over the last 18 to 24 months has changed. We can only hope for the best. And now coming to the game, the big game on Sunday against Liverpool, it doesn't really mean much except for the fact that if we lose this game, Manchester City are crowned champions. We know that's going to happen already, but we would hate to be the team handing it to them. On the plus side, if that happens, nobody can celebrate it on social media because of the boycott. So until Monday, they will not be able to celebrate it. So would you guys rather give the title to Man City now, or would you guys want to beat Liverpool first and foremost? Yes, you tell.
I mean, Liverpool, like United Liverpool is always a big game, like regardless of how the other team is doing.
Yeah.
So even when, before Bruno came in, we were, to be honest, we were quite shit. And still Liverpool were very good, but still everyone looked forward to the United Liverpool game, even the Liverpool supporters. So it obviously means something. And I'd obviously want to beat Liverpool regardless of whether, it meant City winning or losing the title. Because it's basically like a foregone conclusion right now that City are going to win it anyway. So right now it's more about the the rivalry between the two clubs rather than any meaningful impact on either club's season.
Yeah.
It could have a genuine impact on Liverpool's season because if we beat them tomorrow, I don't really think they will be able to finish inside the top 4. So that would be good, like us beating them and them. Us beating them meaning they don't finish inside the top 4.
Yeah.
So I love that, but like I don't really think even Oli or any of the players are thinking about Man City right now. Basically they have also accepted it that they're going to win the title.
Yeah.
So I think it's more about the game itself and the two clubs itself rather than focusing on City.
What do you think, Eshaan? How do you see this game going?
Of course, win it. No other choice. I mean, regardless of whatever City's result is, whether they get to celebrate it or not, it's just about delaying it. and I would rather see it 1 week from now than tomorrow. So any day, any cup, any competition, Liverpool versus United, I would want us to win, and it would really like prove that Ole is doing the right thing. To be very honest, he's doing what Klopp did. Even Klopp, if you see first season, I think he was 6th or 7th.
Yeah.
Then he came up to 4th. I think he finished 4th again, then 2nd, then 1st.
Yeah.
So in the first season with Solskjaer, we were 6th, then we were 3rd, then now we're 2nd. So you would gradually want us to win a title, but it's happening faster and it's happening with a bit of luck, to be very fair. Because of COVID, we've had a bit of luck, but even then, I would say we have to win this game.
So if I was to ask you for a score prediction and the goal scorers, what would it be?
I would go for, I think it's going to be a draw because it's just a safe bet.
Yeah.
Because we just play very bad when it comes to such games. We just go 0-0 this season at least, because I don't think we have the players to play the way we want. But the form we are in suggests that we might win it. So I feel 2-1.
And what about you, Yash?
I mean, my prediction basically hinges on what kind of team Ole is going to put out. So if he's going to go with Fred and McTominay with Dan James on the wing, as he tends to go in the big games,
Yeah.
then I don't think then it's going to be like a draw. That's basically what I think, because he's going to play Rashford on the other wing. I don't think he's going to play Pogba because he's been fasting for Ramadan.
Yeah.
But if he does play Pogba and Bruno, then I think, and Cavani, we've seen on against Roma what they can do. So in that case, I'd go for like maybe 2-0 United. I don't see us conceding if Fred and McTominay play.
You don't see
Just
us
because
conceding
we
against
tend-
Liverpool.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't been great. They haven't been that great, to be honest, in attack also. I mean, they have been defensively weak right now, but like even attacking wise, they are not the Liverpool that we saw like a season ago. So I think we'll be able to contain them, but like optimistic is like 2-0 United. But yeah, if we do concede, it's like 2-1 United.
Yeah, even
I
feel,
don't see us conceding more than a goal.
Even I feel that it's going to be. I feel we are facing Liverpool at the wrong time. I feel they are just coming back into form. We had played them a couple of months ago. It would have been. I would have said it would be a comfortable United win. But now Salah's coming back to form. You have Diego Jota back from injury. Sadio Mane has not been good, obviously, but I still feel that their attack is going to cause us some problems. I'm going for a 1-1 with United scoring first and then Liverpool equalizing. But I think that's it. I mean, thank you guys for being such lovely guests. Any final words?
Yeah, let's just go and win the game against Liverpool tomorrow. I think the game against Roma is just a formality, so hopefully Van de Beek gets some play time. But it was great to be on here, and look forward to coming back here again.
Great to have you. Eshaan, what about you? Thanks for making it, man.
Yeah, man. Same. Yeah, no problem. I mean, I was same like Yash. Just like go win tomorrow. We'll just play out a draw or just win the Roma game, and then we'll see where we can go from there. Probably the Europa League, hopefully, and just like take it from the transfer window. Let's see if the Glazers spend money.
Yeah.
And one second, there's a protest tomorrow, so let's see how that goes.
Oh yeah, there's a protest. 10,000 people. That should be
approximately.
Good. Yeah,
that should be good.
Yeah, that should be pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's
important.
It's important that fans unite and just make the point clear. Because for so many years, fans have just been bullied by the owners. It's time for fans.
Like even just the sight of the fans being outside the stadium might, pump up the players a bit.
Side.
That might pump up the players a bit, and we might just go on and nick it just because of the fan.
And it's the perfect game to do it against Liverpool, our longest and oldest rivals. It couldn't be more special.
Most definitely.
Absolutely. So let's hope that turns out well, and let's hope the game turns out well. But apart from that, you guys have been wonderful. Thanks a lot for spending your time, sharing your time here, and thanks to all the listeners at home. I know times are tough in the world, but thanks for tuning in, and hope to see you all soon. Bye bye.